Hey there, Tundra Nation, and welcome back to the channel. Today on Tundra Tactical, we cover these sub-communities in the tactical crowd. So make sure to drop a like on the video, stay tuned, thanks for watching, and let's start the show. There are a lot of you out there that are all about that tactical life and making sure that your own tactical prowess is up to snuff. Some of you study and research what different top-tier military organizations are doing and using and attempt to imitate that. While others just assume that if Magpul makes it, well, it's gotta be top tier then. Of course, just like in any other community, there is also the just as good crowd that is absolutely convinced that they've cracked the code on taking down the man by assuming that their Anderson home build and Omni backup rifles are just as good as a Knight's armament kit because they look vaguely similar. Stick around and find out, folks, why you are wrong, no matter what camp you find yourself in.
Oh my sweet Jesus.
For those of you who have never actually served because you would have totally knocked that drill sergeant out if he ever got in your face, but are convinced that if the military is using it, then it's the right thing to use, you are going to have a bad time. There are a few issues with cloning military equipment. First off, the military, big surprise, is run by bureaucrats.
You suck!
Who will ensure that all potential new kit goes through rigorous trials and competitive options are pitted against one another in the most grueling of tests to find the best possible tool for the job. And then, they're gonna go with the ones that line their pockets the most. Way to go, fat cats. If you think this is made up, then please tell me if mil-spec gear is so great, how do you explain that abomination known as the IOTV in universal camouflage pattern? This is a body armor that weighs in at 32 pounds before attaching the deltoid and groin protectors that is camouflaged to blend in with nothing except the couch that your grandma had in the sitting room. Yes, I know, the military issues Trigicon sights and some dope-ass lasers, but I am totally convinced those made it into inventory by complete accident, and because the E4 Mafia is actually running the military in secret, nobody bothered to correct these mistakes. Go ahead and tell me that you're only going to use what you know the special operators are repping. Here's the thing with SOCOM, kiddo. A lot of those guys buy their own stuff. And furthermore, you're probably not going to ever know what the real pipe-swinging badasses of the world use because they do not plaster pictures of themselves all over Instagram like you do when you're hanging out in your mom's basement wearing your tax returns like an inflated Navy SEAL that ate the entire rest of his team.
All right, I'm gonna go cry.
Here is something you might not know about military operators. Even if their kit is good, they still screw up all the time. Last week, a Special Forces team raided some civilian factory in Europe by accident during a training exercise instead of showing up to the actual place they were supposed to go. And that is getting dangerously close to sounding a lot like the ATF or some local PD stacking bodies during a no-knock raid at the wrong house. Next up, we have the crew that still subscribes to Guns and Ammo for whatever reason, while simultaneously ensuring that they have an ad block enabled on their computer because I guess they must hate it when a company tries to sell them something. If you don't understand why that's funny, well then this is probably you.
You're a douchebag, you're a douchebag.
You brag to everybody when you picked up your rifle chambered in 350 Legend, but you haven't been able to find a single round available since everybody started getting sick a little over a year ago. When people ask you why you have so much Magpul stuff on your rifles, you let them know that, well, you're never going to use anything else because just like cowboy boots, they spice up your rifle's aesthetic and tactical appeal.
A little tough to do with cowboy boots on because they are a little slippery. I decided to wear cowboy boots today just to add a little bit of spice to just a look. That's all.
In your mind, Magpul is somehow the only company capable of molding plastic into ergonomic gun parts. You feign ignorance when anybody mentions companies like Hogue or Mission First. If you've ever seen anybody using Tapco parts, God forbid, you will ridicule them to no end, and we must ask you to stop. That's our job, and you should just let the professionals handle it. Unfortunately, you live in a world where technology advanced, but you never left the 80s, so as you rip that fat line, you begin to poorly make fun of the Tapco crowd yet again. But when confronted about your loyalty to Magpul, you're unable to explain in any cohesive sentence why Tapco is not as good, other than Guns and Ammo told me so.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
I mean, it's all molded polymer, right? Seriously though, Tapco makes a butt stock that is absolutely identical to Magpul's MOE stock. I beg you to look at the two and tell me why Magpul is so superior. Yes, I get it, the MOE pistol grip is great, but there are probably 100 other pistol grips out there with the same grip angle that are at least as comfortable, if not better. One thing we can guarantee is this guy definitely has a bad lever on his AR-15.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Finally, we have everybody's favorite group, the just as good tactical crowd. Yes, they do exist. Now, these guys scour Amazon and Wish looking for deals on plate carriers, optics, load-bearing equipment, and bump helmets. And at first, it might be hard to be mad at these dudes because they're often on a budget. Either they're young or have other financial obligations, but they still want to try to enjoy their hobby of LARPing around as a British SAS operator, wearing Rhodesian camo pants with a Coyote plate carrier and a Woodland Gore-Tex jacket that they all got at the thrift store.
What the hell is wrong with you people?
But then they ruin any sympathy that you might have had for them when they try to tell you that their NC Star 3-power scope is just as good as your ACOG, and then belittle you for spending 10 times as much as they did on that Chinesium crap factory. First off, you have been recognized by the council, but you are not granted the rank of master. In fact, you were only recognized because we want to put you into a room with the other younglings in the hope that you'll get slaughtered by some whiny douche who chose the dark side and doesn't like sand, people, or any combination of the two. Just listen up for a second, buddy. If you want to play Airsoft with your friends with your $50 night vision set that almost looks like a PVS-14, except it has more motion blur than the background of a video game made by Naughty Dog and has the image quality of a potato, that's up to you. Go for it. But I don't want to hear about how this garbage made for children is ready to get you dropped into Fallujah circa 2007.
That's disgusting.
If that Anderson lower you got for $40 on sale was just as good as a Colt receiver, don't you think we'd at least heard of one of them being used by an actual military member ever? Let's face it here, buddy, your attitude sucks, and that's the real reason nobody likes you. Not just because you're poor. Holy shit, ladies and gents, I think we just figured it all out.
What the fuck happened? What happened?
Thanks for watching, folks. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to check out these two cripplers right here, and don't forget to join us next week when we still don't know what the fuck we're doing.